Arsenal starting Kepa backfired big time after Carabao Cup final. Howler helps Man City to trophy, says Jamie Redknapp. Jamie Carragher, Jamie Redknapp and Ian Wright criticised Mikel Arteta's decision to start Kepa Arrizabalaga in Carabao Cup final defeat to Arsenal. Arteta defends call as right, honest and fair, and says he would make same decision again. Jamie Carragher was critical of Mikel Arteta's decision to start second choice Kepa Arrizabalaga ahead of David Raya, Ori's howler during Arsenal's 2-0 Carabao Cup final defeat to Manchester City. Kepa kept his place for Sunday's showpiece after featuring in every round of the Gunners' run to the final, but his inclusion was questioned ahead of the game and came back to bite the Arsenal boss when he failed to take Ryan Cherki's cross, deflecting it straight into the path of Nico O'Reilly for City's opener after an hour. Arteta defended his decision as right and fair. However, Carragher believes that Arteta doesn't owe the former Chelsea goalkeeper anything. He also compared the situation to James Trafford at Man City, as well as Coim Kelleher when he played for Liverpool, who often started in goal in cup competitions and finals. I've got strong views on playing the second goalkeeper. I don't like it, but I can understand it in some situations, Carragher said on Sky Sports Premier League Extra Time. But Mikel Arteta does not owe Kepa anything. He owes Arsenal supporters the best possible chance of winning the first trophy in 6 years. They've won 1 trophy in 9 years. The goalkeeper comes to the club because he knows his second choice. He can play through the rounds, but once you get to the final, it has to change for me, because they haven't won enough trophies and they need to get over the line. But Pep does owe Trafford. He brought him in at the start of the season to be the number one, didn't think he was good enough, and then brought Donnarumma in. Not easy for the lad. Also, they've won 4 of them. The pressure on Man City to win another Carabao Cup is not the same. People might also flip and say Kelleher and Liverpool. The reason he got so many opportunities to play in finals is because Liverpool were desperate to keep him. That is not the point with Kepa. He was signed as a number 2, and he's not good enough at the top level. We've seen that at Chelsea. David Raya is not just the first choice goalkeeper. We're arguably talking about Arsenal's best player this season, so it's not just changing number 1 for number 2. It's changing one of your best players when you haven't got a history of winning with this team. Why Arsenal's Eberechies and Jurrien Timber miss Carabao Cup final as Mikel Arteta gives update. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has provided an injury update on Eberechies, Jurrien Timber and Martin Odegaard before the Carabao Cup final. Mikel Arteta explained why Eberechies, Martin Odegaard and Jurrien Timber were all unavailable for Arsenal's clash against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final. The Gunners were facing City at Wembley Stadium as they looked to win the famous trophy for the first time since 1993. Arsenal went into the game against City on the back of a win over Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League in midweek, while City were beaten by Real Madrid in the Champions League. Arteta was handed a major selection blow before kick-off with news that Ez was ruled out for the clash against City with an injury, while Odegaard and Timber were also unavailable for the fixture. We tried everything, but unfortunately, Ez, Martin Odegaard, Jurrien Timber and Mikel Merino are out, Arteta told Sky Sports before kick-off. Odegaard and Timber couldn't make it, so I think they will still be a couple of weeks, Arteta added. Let's see after the international break if we have anybody back. Arteta made 2 changes to the Arsenal team that claimed a 2-0 win over Leverkusen in the Champions League on Tuesday night. Victor Gyökeres replaced the injured Ez to lead the forward line for Arsenal, while Kepa Arrizabalaga was selected to start in goal in place of one-shot stopper David Raya. Arsenal were not alone in being forced to deal with injury concerns for the Carabao Cup final, with City also having players ruled out for the showpiece fixture. Ruben Dias was ruled out of the game hours before kick-off. The news emerged that the defender was unavailable with a hamstring injury. It meant that City were without 3 key players in their defence for the final against Arsenal, with Josko Gvardiol ruled out with a knee injury that has kept him on the sidelines since January. January signing Mark Guehi was also unavailable for the fixture due to not being registered as a City player before the semi-finals of the competition began towards the start of the year.